Our tale begins with Sylvie, Michelle and their son Leo venturing into a dense virgin forest guided by a worn-out map. They tread lightly, their footsteps muffled by the thick carpet of moss underfoot. The towering trees around them seem to reach for the heavens, their immense canopies casting a perpetual twilight below. The air is heavy with the scent of damp earth and the distant murmur of unseen creatures. The forest, untouched by man for centuries, is a realm of its own, indifferent to the small family daring to traverse its depths. Their laughter and chatter echo in the silence, a stark contrast to the quiet stillness of the forest. Yet as they delve deeper into the heart of the woods, their voices grow quieter, their smiles fading into expressions of unease. The forest, once a source of excitement, now feels imposing and inscrutable. As the sun begins to wane, a sense of worry starts to creep in. Nightfall looms, forcing the family to seek shelter. As the darkness of the forest wraps around them, Sylvie, with her keen eyes, spots a dilapidated structure in the distance. An old cabin, its wooden planks groaning with age, stands alone amidst the trees. Her suggestion to take refuge there is met with hesitation from Michel. The cabin, worn by time and abandoned by humanity, doesn't inspire confidence. Yet their son Leo, full of youthful curiosity and unscathed by the fear of the unknown, sees this as an opportunity for a thrilling adventure. His eyes sparkle with excitement as he imagines the stories that the old cabin might hold within its decaying walls. This infectious enthusiasm lightens the mood, turning apprehension into intrigue. In the face of their son's eagerness, Sylvie and Michelle exchange a glance. A silent agreement passes between them, a shared resolve to brave the unknown. With a nudge from Leo, they decide to explore the abandoned cabin. Inside, the cabin creaks with age, a testament to many years of abandonment. Each groan of the timbers seems to whisper tales of forgotten times. A blanket of cobwebs drapes over the long-forgotten furniture, a silent witness to the passage of time. The air is heavy with a musty scent, a mingling of damp wood and age-old dust that clings to the nostrils. It's as if the cabin itself is exhaling years of solitude. In the midst of this eerie stillness, young Leo moves with a child's curiosity, his footsteps echoing in the silent void. His parents' warnings fall on deaf ears, lost in the thrill of exploration. His wide, eager eyes scan the room, drinking in the strange, ghostly surroundings. His fingers graze across the worn surfaces, disturbing the layers of dust that seem to have settled for an eternity. Suddenly, a chilling crack echoes through the cabin. The family jumps at the disturbing sound. A sinister crack echoes through the cabin, like the snapping of ancient bones. The atmosphere, already thick with unease, now vibrates with the chill of impending doom. Sylvie and Michelle, their hearts pounding in their chests, draw close to each other, seeking comfort in the shared terror. Their eyes dart around, each shadow seeming to grow and shift with menace. Young Leo, his wide eyes reflecting the flickering candlelight, swallows hard. His adventurous spirit is now clouded by a deepening concern. Despite the comforting grip of his parents, the boy can't help but feel an icy dread creeping up his spine. Then another sound, a soft, rhythmic thump. Footsteps. They seem to be coming from upstairs, a dreadful drumbeat that sends shivers down their spines. The silence that follows is almost worse, the anticipation twisting their stomachs into knots. As the echoes fade, one thing becomes clear: they are not alone in this cabin. Fear begins to set in. Sylvie insists on leaving, but as they deliberate, Leo's curiosity pulls him towards the stairs. The innocence of childhood and the thirst for adventure lure him to this mysterious path. His small hands grip the wooden banister, each creak of the aged wood echoing in the silent cabin. The dust particles dance in the thin beam of light as he ascends, each step taking him further into the unknown. Suddenly, the tranquil silence is shattered by a shrill, bone-chilling scream. It echoes through the cabin, a haunting melody of terror that freezes the blood in their veins. Leo's heart pounds in his chest, the scream echoing in his ears as he turns towards the sound. Fear etches on his face as he witnesses something that no child should ever see. Their dread is amplified when they hear a thunderous thud. A creature descends upon them. The darkness of the cabin is disturbed, and an unimaginable horror is awakened. In the blink of an eye, the deformed creature lunges at Leo. Its grotesque form is a sight of pure horror. Eyes rolled back, it's as if the abyss itself stares back at them. With an almost unnatural swiftness, it descends the staircase, its twisted silhouette a grotesque mockery of the human form. Michel, driven by a father's instinct, throws himself in front of his son. But the creature's strength is not of this world. It sends him crashing against the wall with a force that rattles the cabin's foundations. A scream tears through the silence, Sylvie's voice echoing with raw terror. Their sanctuary has turned into a trap. The creature's snarls fill the room, each growl a chilling reminder of their predicament. Fear grips them, a tangible force that constricts their hearts and freezes their blood. The realization hits them like a cold wave. They are cornered. Terrified, the family huddles together, surrounded by the unknown. The cabin, once a refuge, has transformed into a nightmare. Eerie sounds echo around them, the scratch of claws against the wooden floor, the harsh, ragged breathing of unseen creatures, the unsettling whispers that seem to emanate from the very walls. Shadows play tricks on their eyes, shifting and contorting, forming grotesque figures that seem to loom ever closer. Each sound sends a fresh wave of terror coursing through their veins. The air grows dense with a bone-chilling cold, wrapping them in an icy shroud. The tension thickens, a palpable presence in the room. It's as if the cabin itself is alive, breathing with them, watching them. The family in their corner tremble with fear. They clutch each other, their eyes wide and haunted. The once loud and curious Leo is now silent, his adventurous spirit quelled by the terror that grips them all. The fear is palpable. Suddenly the shadows take form. A chilling spectacle unfolds as the dark corners of the room birth misshapen silhouettes. These shadows, more tangible now, pulsate with an eerie glow, their eyes burning like coals in the blackened room. Sylvie's screams fill the air, a desperate call echoing in the grim silence, but the creatures remain unyielding, invulnerable to her terror. Michel, the protective patriarch, lunges at these phantom figures, his fists slicing through the frigid air. But his efforts are fruitless, his hands passing through the spectres like ripples through water. The creatures, it seems, are as untouchable as the darkness they were born from. Crushed in the corner, a small, whimpering voice rises above the chaos. Leo, the brave adventurer, now a frightened boy, pleads for salvation. His cries, filled with innocence and dread, hang heavily in the room, a poignant reminder of their dire situation. As the shadows close in, tightening their supernatural siege, hope seems lost. Cornered, the family barricades themselves in a small room. The room, their final sanctuary, shivers under the weight of their dread. Outside, the supernatural beings claw at the door, their inhuman screams echoing through the cabin. The harsh scrapes and scratches play a symphony of horror, each note a chilling reminder of the terror just beyond the barricade. In their fortress of fear, Sylvie, Michel and Leo sit huddled together, eyes wide in the dim light. Their hearts beat in a frantic rhythm, matching the pounding on the door. Every creak and groan of the old cabin sends a fresh wave of terror through them. The air is thick with the musty scent of age and fear, a grim testament to the cabin's forgotten past. With every passing moment, their sanctuary feels smaller, the walls closing in. But they cling to each other, their unity a beacon in the darkness. They huddle together, praying for salvation. Suddenly a loud noise fills the air, followed by a bone-chilling wind. A deafening sound sweeps over Sylvie, Michel and Leo, as if the very fabric of reality is tearing apart. The icy gust that follows sends a shiver down their spines, a stark contrast to the stifling fear they've been steeped in. In the blink of an eye, their surroundings shift. The gloomy, decrepit cabin that had been their prison is nowhere to be seen. Instead, they find themselves standing at the threshold of the forest, the familiar sight of towering trees offering a surreal sense of safety. The family is left stunned. The terror of the night is replaced by an overwhelming confusion. How did they get here? What happened to the cabin and the monstrous creatures that lurked within? Questions whirl around in their minds, but one thing is clear. They are safe. Their nightmare has ended, but the memory of the horror will forever haunt them.